we've got Dinesh D'Souza, Dave Rubin, and Brandon Tatum ripping Tucker Carlson for blatantly lying about Israel destroying Trump's ceasefire. Check this out.
Tucker again did a show on this yesterday, and look at the tweet on this. Netanyahu launches terror attack on Beirut, destroying Trump's ceasefire. We need to detach from Israel immediately. Now, it's interesting that he's calling it a terror attack, and he's connecting it to the ceasefire because, well, first off, a state stopping a terrorist organization, Hezbollah, from launching rockets into their territory, that by no definition is a terror attack. That aside, it turns out that the ceasefire had literally nothing to do with Lebanon. Here's J.D. Vance on that.
First of all, I actually think, and there's a lot of bad faith negotiation and a lot of bad faith, propaganda going on. I think this comes from a legitimate misunderstanding. I think the Iranians thought that the ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. We never made that promise. We never indicated that was going to be the case. What we said is that the ceasefire would be focused on Iran, and the ceasefire would be focused on America's allies, both Israel and the Gulf Arab states.
So, Brandon, whether Iran made a mistake in the translation or not, you have Tucker taking their side of it, calling Israel our ally in this, who's defending their own citizens. 300,000 people are not living in the north for the last 2 years because of this rocket fire. Not only calling it terror, but basically saying it breaks the ceasefire, which it had nothing to do with. What is going on? And of course, he won't issue a retraction or a correction or say, actually, I did get, poor information on this, et cetera, et cetera.
Dave, it's all about hatred of Israel. It's just
AIPAC Shakur here, or as some people call him, Officer Talmud. He's really gone down that line, hasn't he? Big AIPAC Shakur. He really loves it. But you could say that these three represent sort of the establishment, the sort of alternative media establishment, if you will. The gatekeepers of alternative media. Pushed back against the mainstream media, created their own ecosystem, but the ecosystem was basically padded and controlled by very pro-Israeli sentiments. And these guys are now the gatekeepers who are trying to hold back the floodgates that have opened.
That's what all of this stuff comes down to. I don't know what kind of psychological trauma that these people are going through in their mind, but for whatever reason, and I think majority of it is spiritual, they just hate in Israel so much that everything...
It's hard to actually believe that they're still going with this argument that they just hate. If you want to lose credibility in the debate, then sure, I mean, go for it. Or you can just sort of recognize that criticizing the Israeli government is very different to criticizing people. It's actually very simple, but these people refuse to actually just contend with the real arguments there. If you're criticizing the Zionist regime, the Zionist project, the Israeli government, that are literally at the center of the biggest global conflict in the world at the moment, and now it's just open that the United States are fighting a war alongside Israel, and it is Israel's war, first and foremost, despite what people say. You could just acknowledge they're kind of important, it's kind of important. Massive lobby in the United States and other countries, all these different world leaders going to kiss the wall in Israel as soon as they get elected. They're kind of significant, so it's kind of a relevant topic to talk about. But no, they just hate us while they're obsessed with them. Well, they're obsessed with them. If they were talking about Hungarians all day or Romanians all day, then I would understand it's a bit weird. Why do you have this fetish? Why do you have this obsession with Hungarians or Romanians? But it's not. It's Israelis, and Israel is at the center of the global conflicts.
has to be the fault of everything has to be the fault of Israel. He could have taken 30 seconds to do some deep dive research before he make a crazy accusation against one of our allies. All he had to do was take a little bit of time and listen to what Donald Trump had to say, listen to what J.D. Vance had to say, do a little research online and put two and two together. But that's not their motive. None of these people have a motive that way. They're willing to betray the United States of America in the pursuit to hate Israel. I'm telling you, that's why the thing is that I never see any of these people talk about the Christians being slaughtered by Islamic terrorists. You never hear them say anything about Iran slaughtering their own people. They cry day and night about Gaza, and it's a genocide. It's a genocide. And we see, according to them, a genocide happened in Iran against their own people, Christians, and they hate America. And they won't even say anything about it, but they are willing to fix their mouth to come up or concoct a fake story that has to do with Israel and hating Israel.
Dinesh, let me ask you a slightly different version of that. I agree with what Brandon said there, but like, giving him every benefit of the doubt, which I don't think he deserves, but I'm going to really just try to offer him everything right now. Let's say he really thought it was part of the ceasefire. Okay, 5 minutes later, JD comes out, it's not part of the ceasefire. Trump has now said was never part of the ceasefire. The fact that he will not correct it, I have no problem saying there is zero chance he will correct it. Maybe he'll watch this and then be drugged into something, but we just know he won't because he's been caught in a million lies. What does that tell you about what he's doing? I mean, I suppose it's what Brandon just laid out.
Well, I think Tucker is careening out of control, but on a trajectory that can be plotted out. In other words, it's not as if Tucker suddenly comes out, I like Sharia, Bin Laden wasn't such a bad guy, we should apologize to him. It didn't start like that. It started with Netanyahu. Netanyahu is the bad guy. Then it went from Netanyahu is the bad guy to Israel. Israel is the bad guy. Stage 3 was it's not just Netanyahu, it's not just Israel, and that's why you bring in the killing of Christ. But this is the starting point. It's important to recognize that Tucker's pro-Islamic and even pro-Hamas and pro-Iran stances all came much later.
And pro-Sharia, by the way.
And pro-Sharia. So I think Brandon's right. It starts on the pivot of Israel and then Tucker's whole world spins out of control off of that axis. So all these later discoveries of how wonderful the Muslim...
The problem with these guys, and the problem with also some of the mouth breathers in the chat as well, is that once again, they don't actually contend with the real argument. Tucker Carlson is obviously not pro-Sharia. You can actually have a conversation about it, be like, all right, well, maybe it works okay over in their country, whatever. I don't really care about what they do over in Afghanistan or Iraq or Iran. Doesn't really bother me. Sure, Sharia, whatever. Do we have to go and kill them because they practice Sharia law? No, they can go and practice Sharia law over there. They don't actually contend with the arguments. But if you listen to Crowder, for example, he actually does contend with the arguments, what they're actually saying. And he'll provide proper counter arguments rather than literally just arguing with a straw man. He's pro-Sharia. Really? Think Tucker Carlson is like pro-Sharia law in America or something? It's just, yeah. Dinesh D'Souza's not a stupid guy. Neither, Dave Rubin he's leaning towards stupid. Officer Talmud, Apex Shakur, a little bit of Labrador energy going on there. Not much going on behind the eyes. But Dinesh, definitely a smart guy.
The old Tucker would never have said that. But his starting point changed. It became a new fulcrum, a new axis. And now his whole worldview has to be turned around in order to accommodate that new starting point. This is the new Tucker.
That's well said. It's just, I know we can point out the hypocrisy and the shift and all that all the time. I think pointing out the direct being caught in a lie, we all talk for a living. We all make mistakes. Like, there's just no doubt about it. However, when I make a mistake and someone points it out to me, I address it and move on. So it's to me, it's like, it's insulting to the audience. If you are...
Anyway, Mark Levin. We'll go Ben Shapiro first.
She's passionate about things, Megan. You know how you can tell she's passionate because she curses a lot more than she used to. That's how you know she really believes the things she's saying, because she drops 4-letter words a lot. And also makes insulting comments about her political opponents. I'm old enough to remember when she was asking President Trump about doing that in 2015. That's how old I am. But don't worry, Megyn Kelly, she's even older than I am. Here we go.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D, yes, shut up. Shut up about that. You don't.
I always actually do find it really cringe when they try and swear too much. They're trying to act like they're cool and based and relatable and stuff. It actually is pretty cringe, to be fair. It doesn't sound right when they do it.
Threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians just casually in a social media post. This is wrong. It's wrong. He should not be doing it. I don't care that it's a
she's so
negotiation tactic.
She's like the worst third-rate band you know. Seriously, it's what she becomes.
Men, women, and children.
Stop it. I mean, she's okay. Megan, we get it. You're doing your best Tim Dillon impression. You've now been relegated to doing a Tim Dillon impersonation because you're cursing. You're so sick. You literally played that clip like 5 minutes ago, and now you're just imitating it.
If there was a picture of a weasel in the dictionary, it would be Ben. He's so weaselly about everything.
And then you're imitating. It's just wrong. Killing civilians. Again, none of these people, Tucker doesn't think it, Candace doesn't think it, Megan doesn't think it. None of these people think that Trump was going to nuke Iran. The sudden pearl clutching from all the people who know for a fact that Trump is not going to nuke Iran and wipe out the entire civilian population is truly an astonishing thing. Truly, but you know, she's passionate because she's cursing now. So that's the important thing.
Yeah, right. I kind of agree with Ben there, to be honest. I find it a bit cringe when they're all always cursing. Mark Levin, if there was
passionate about things, Meg.
Israel first neocon in the dictionary, it would be Mark Levin.
In a world created by nuts and kooks and frauds. Now you might say, well, that's not you and it's not me. For the most part, it's not us, because you and I don't live on the internet every second of every day. But there are people who do, and they're like hooked on it, like booze, and they can't get off. And they're on there all day long. They're commenting all day long. And when it's people who are younger, like many of you, it's not a healthy thing, because that's not the real world. It's simply not. It's part of the real world, I guess, but it's not the whole world. And so you actually have a division that's happening in this country, at least one division, more than perhaps many more, where you have people who live in that world and almost exclusively in that world and don't live in the rest of the world. And this concerns me a lot. The idea of new media, independent media, was to create competition with the big dogs, who were mostly left-wing, mostly Democrat, mostly anti-Republican, anti-conservative, you know, and they are. They're partisan activists on the left. And our media are made up of a zillion of these people, from producers and directors to editors to obviously the hosts and the nature of the guests that they choose. And so competition is always a good thing, isn't it?
I can't listen to Mark Levin.
You know how
Sorry,
she's...
guys. Shut up, Ben Shapiro. All right, so Timple reposted. First of all, you've got Dave Smith on Trump burning down his podcast support base. I've never seen an act of political suicide quite like that. Donald Trump requires 100% loyalty, offers absolutely none. That's the deal. Yeah, kind of true. Kind of true, guys. Not just people are going to spurg out about it. If you look at the last election cycle, there's a reason why Trump was going on these podcasts, going on Theo Von and even Nelk and Joe Rogan and everything, because these podcasts, they're just podcasters, have more viewers than mainstream media now. So you can try and underplay it all you like and try and downplay it, but it's impossible now, because this is the new media. This is where people are going to get their news and information. Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, three are the biggest. Tucker Carlson, the biggest in the entire conservative space. So I don't know if Trump would do this if there was an election around the corner. But anyways, this is what Dave Smith had to say, and then we'll hear what Tim Pool said.
By name, trashed Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones. And I got to say, man, I've kind of just never seen an act of political suicide quite like that. And look, Donald Trump is 80 and he's rich and he doesn't have another election coming up. And frankly, I don't think he gives a shit about, I think Donald Trump would be quite happy for the Democrats to sweep everything after he's gone. I think he'd prefer that than some other Republican star rise. Like he'd rather be like, yep, I was the only one who could do it. And all the other guys were always second rate compared to me. Like, I don't think he cares about the country or any of that at all. But, if you think about like what this is the equivalent of, like this would be like Joe Biden trashing Rachel Maddow, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, just like your people's favorite people. Between the four of those might be the four biggest conservative right-wing shows in the country. And he just trashed all of them. And they also kind of represent almost like the spectrum of, because, like Megyn Kelly and Alex Jones are very different people. It's like all the way from Fox News to InfoWars and everything in between. And he just trashed all of them in the most, it was Trump. It was kind of funny, I guess, in some parts of it, but it was so petulant and it just looked so bad. And then the reaction of all of them has essentially been to laugh at him. And I don't know, Rob. I've never seen anything like this before, where a president is trashing all of the people who got him elected. And it's so naked. It's like, look, here's the rules, okay? Donald Trump requires 100% loyalty, and he offers absolutely none. That's the deal. And you just demonstrate that enough times. It's like, all right, dude, then who the hell wants to work with you? Like, this is still a bit of a free country. And like, all four of those people have the option of not supporting you if they don't want to. So why the hell should they? And okay, so then, like, if that's not bad enough, then he posts the thing of him as Jesus this morning, Rob. Like, he's so out of touch that he didn't. I mean, it seems almost like he is working to destroy his legacy, his presidency, and his coalition.
I find it really hard to disagree with that. I find it really hard to argue with that logic. I mean, I guess the argument against it is that this is not his coalition, that these people aren't the ones who got him elected. But I mean, if you think that these three people combined didn't influence millions of Americans in their vote, then I got a bridge to sell you. Tim Poole says, worldview is shattering. The right had routed woke after 2024 and left little to be mad about. Sure, problems persisted, but the GOP won everything and was on track to be a solution people expected. Too bad they weren't. Epstein files botched, no save act, massive new war in Iran. Now the other is each other, and it's tearing the coalition apart. Trump is burning bridges, and it just feels like otherization. The people he attacked can lean more heavily into a large market of anti-Trump. Liberals love watching Candace Now, for example. That's true. The one thing that people can all see is Trump, so he will take all the ire and the space. To be fair, even Democrats are at each other's throats. Unfortunately, there is only one man left standing, and it's Trump. They all kind of did laugh at him, to be fair. They all kind of did laugh at him. I think we do have Candace actually responding to this sort of stuff. So first of all here, Candace plays a compilation of Trump allies disavowing and criticizing him as the tarnishing of his legacy continues. Let's check this out, what Candace had to say. I haven't seen any of this, guys. This is all new to me.
And though I highly doubt that you will be permitted any opportunity to see what the crowd now thinks of you, I have to do my best to try. So here you are. Take a listen.
I don't know who's whispering to this guy's ear like freaking Grima Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings, but they're telling you wrong stuff, bro. Half of the people that I grew up with in this movement are not on Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin's team. Okay, we aren't neocons. We aren't war hawks. We want America first. And if you make me choose between America first and MAGA, it's America first all day. That's what MAGA was supposed to be. You were just the best vessel for it, bro. Don't get it twisted.
But as bad as he is, as corrupt as he's gotten, the insider trading, all of it, I'm really glad he's differentiating and saying, you're not with me, because I'm not with you. I don't want to be at your cool, corrupt kid, Howard Lutnick, Jeffrey Epstein class table. Thank you so much for delineating that I'm not with you, a sinking, burning ship. He wasn't loyal to his original mission. He wasn't.
Now, don't forget, guys, a lot can change in a few weeks. So we're seeing all of this play out. They're all going at each other's throat. It's these guys versus the Trump guys. A lot can change. And you know how we know that is because Candace Owens and Alex Jones were at each other's throat just a few weeks ago. Alex Jones was saying Candace Owens is a demon. Candace Owens was laughing at Alex Jones, pulling him up on her show, saying how horrible she was. And now they're back on the same page. Now it's all hunky-dory again between Candace and Alex Jones, and they're on the same team again, guys. So a lot can change in a few weeks. Just keep that in mind.
Loyal to America, and he became a creature of Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu, and all of his never-Trumper enemies are now the courtiers with the madness of King Lear telling him the lies and worshiping him the way he wants to hear it, and I am not one of those people.
This proves one of many things. The first thing, he shouldn't be in office anymore. Implement the 25th. He's not loyal to this country, and he's not loyal to anybody. Well, except for that little country in the Middle East. It's almost like he does what he's told, and the last president to tell that little country no was JFK, and we all know what happened to him. It's like, Donald Trump, how can you call them losers when you lose to Bibi Netanyahu in Israel every single day? When's the last time you told them no to anything?
He said Brigitte Macron is far more beautiful than Candace Owens.
All I can say is he's blind.
That's all across the internet. Take your pick, left and right. People understand that message was really your basket of deplorables moment. I mean, even on Truth Social, your very own platform, they've turned on you. Let's go through just some of these responses, okay? What? You are way out of line. Most of these people, especially Alex Jones, have been your day ones. That's correct. Just to remind you, Trump, when no one would have you on, when no media company would have you on, Alex Jones had you on his show. This person continues, you need to take a step back and take a good hard look at who is whispering in your ear and get back to America first. Next person, Trump, you are just going against everyone that fought for him to win just because of the Epstein files and being at war.
These are just random people, though, to be fair. Random comments.
War with Iran for Israel. They didn't leave MAGA. MAGA left them. Clearly, you are insane. Time to resign, Donald, or face the 25th. You are mentally and emotionally unfit to be POTUS. You are so childish. Clearly, the truth has triggered you, being one of your biggest supporters. I am done with you and your lies. Look at the mess that...
I mean, I could wrangle together a bunch of comments all saying that Rattlesnake TV is the greatest channel ever to grace the internet, and that would be a compelling case.
You have gotten our country into by bending the knee to a monster. I could go on, but I have to say that when I was looking online, in my view, what was the most brutal and sadly a recurring response all across social media was this. Take a look at this tweet about Charlie. People were saying that Charlie would be on this list if they hadn't killed him. I said many people said that in different ways. Charlie would be on this list if they hadn't killed him. So you should probably take a second to fully absorb what is being implied there. What is being implied there is that there is no truth and there is no loyalty within you.
2.2 million impressions on that one. And then Alex Jones posts this when she's ahead of the curve. And Alex, once again, says, Candace was ahead of the curve and I officially apologized to her. Candace Owens plays a compilation of Trump and allies disavowing. Was this the one that we just watched? Yep, it was. So Alex Jones officially apologized. He was calling her a demon, but now that Trump has turned on him, now they're buddies again. That's how it goes around here, guys. Let's see what Fuentes had to say about Trump disavowing them.
How many shows has Alex Jones gone to the mat for Trump? In spite of what he knew, in spite of his reservations, in spite of his concerns, how many shows and how much flack did he get? And I say this because I'm most aware of Alex Jones' body of work. How much has Alex defended Trump, fought for Trump, went to stop the steal, supported him in 2016, said it was imperative to support him in 2024, defended him from the witch hunt, from the Russia investigation. And by the way, even when it was hard, even when it was difficult, when he was destroyed by the left and lost everything, and Trump was no help, Trump did not give Alex Jones a pardon preemptively when he could have after January 6th. Trump did not try to assist him in getting censored off of the internet in his first term, and Trump has done nothing in the second term to help Alex Jones in this ridiculous lawsuit and ongoing witch hunt in other matters from the DOJ and from the left. And this is how Alex is rewarded.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Alex Jones Show. I'm Harrison Smith, sitting in for Alex today. Gab McGinnis will take over from me in the third hour of...
All right, so did we miss any of the clips here? We did miss one. It's the chicks, Megyn Kelly and Anna Kasparian. Femcon and feminist come together. Don't trust anything that they say, but we'll see what they have to say. I mean, maybe I dislike Mark Levin more. We'll see.
Last 9 months have proven to me that there's nothing. They will stop at nothing to get you to bend the knee. Nothing. And I'm just a podcaster. Yeah. I'm a journalist. Imagine if you're the president of the United States. I don't think they would stop at anything. And I mean Israel and its emissaries, foreign and domestic. I actually believe that Mark Levin would like to have me killed. I do believe it. I think he'd be thrilled to see me taken out. Like, actually. That's so crazy to me, Anna. Yeah. Like, there's no one politically who I would ever wish that upon, ever. There's no one whose death I would celebrate. There's no one whom I would intentionally endanger with really crazy ass rhetoric. He knows what he says about Tucker, about me, about many others is actually endangering, to over and over call somebody to suggest that they want killed because they say things like young people no longer support Israel. It's so irresponsible. It's lunacy.
It is. And
so there's something wrong there.
Yeah, but that's a huge statement. Do you have any proof of that whatsoever? I mean, I don't like Mark Levin either, but to say that he wants you killed, I mean, come on. It's just a ridiculous standard to have, really. We've also got this one here, Laura Loomer, saying that she sent the president Tucker Carlson's clips. How does she have such a good relationship with the president? Apparently, there was rumors that that she performed favors for the president, but they're unsubstantiated. Unsubstantiated claims and rumors. If you enjoyed that clip, then don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you'd like to see another one, click right here.